what is acupuncture and how it is works.
Okay. So the word acupuncture is derived from two Latin words, that is accus and punctura. Accus means nothing but a needle. Punctura means to make a hole. So a modality of treatment in which by implanting a bimetal needle over the superficial part of the skin, that is over the dermis, at a specific points. And by that we are treating or curing a disease is acupuncture. Very simple. The acupuncture concept, I already told you, it is nothing but the flow of energy, and the energy has to be traveled to each and every tissues in the body, for which God has created meridians. These are the pathways, nothing but the pathways. And to facilitate the flow, God has created acupoints. So already I told you, by implanting the needle, I release a block and see to that the flow of energy is regained. This is what acupuncture is. But actually, most of the people, they think this is just putting a needle and doing something like that. No, that alone is not. Why putting the particular in the particular area point? That is very important. You should know the physiology, underlying what is the physiology and what is the pathology. What is pathology? Something abnormal physiology is pathology. So unless you know the physiology, you can't go for a diagnosis. That is very important, number one. In acupuncture, they talk about different concepts. The first concept is yin and yang. The Chinese, when they started formulating a thing, they wanted to group everything into two particular heads under one heading. Two equally opposite things, they wanted to see that. Then they found out the qualities of fire and the qualities of the water. They are equally opposite. So the qualities of fire, they called it in the name of yang. The quality of water, they named it in the as a yin qualities. What is the yang quality? Heat. Yin quality is cold. Up is always heat, the fire moves up. So upward is yang, downward is yin. Inward is yin, outward is yang. So likewise they have formulated the total concepts. So the concept you should understand, are they good or bad? No. They are two qualities. So when you take any object in the thing, right from the atom to the mega planet, you can easily tell something is up is yang, something is down is yin. Something is interior is in, something exterior is out. Likewise you can easily group anything and everything under this one. But the yin and yang are always not static one. For instance, I said something is above is yang, something below is yin. So when you compare neck and the head becomes the yang factor, and the neck, because in the down, it becomes a yin factor. But when you compare neck and the chest, the thorax, neck becomes the yang factor and this becomes the yin. So what was already yang in one state will become yin in another state. So this is not a static and fixed entity. It is a theory of relativity. It is a relative system to which it is going to be compared. When do you call somebody is a short guy? Unless you see a long guy near him, then only he will be short. Absolutely. There should be a comparison. This relativity is very important in yin and yang. So to take it from me, the extreme yin will automatically become extreme yang. That is the reason what happens in extreme hyper fever, hyperpyrexia, results in cold, chillness and tremors. For example, what I can tell you, I'll ask you to you fix it and close it tight and make the fist very strong. What will happen? Without moving. Keep it tight. Automatically you can see the movement. So extreme yang movement leads to extreme yin. You see the fans or the wheels of the chariot, fastly when it goes on, you see nothing is going on, it looks like static. So extreme yin is extreme yang. Number two, at any part of a time, you cannot exclude yin out of yang or yang out of yin. For which I can tell you one example. You take a lady, you take a gent. Any women will not be 100% women. We can see at least 2 to 3% of a masculine character in the lady. Likewise, any gent will not be 100% masculine. Or 2 5% of the feminine character you can exhibit there. So nothing is absolutely yin and nothing is absolutely yang. You take it from me, you put one light here. What does it mean? Some part of darkness is being sent out. You bring in another light. What happens? Some part of darkness will go. You bring in one sun. Yes, you bring in 10 suns. But any particular time, you could not totally wipe out darkness out of a place. It will be there always. So likewise, in the brightness also, you cannot eliminate bright, how dark it is. Even in the worst, darkest place, you can see something. So this is yin and yang concept. This yin they attribute to the nutrient substances in the body. The yang they attribute to the functional activities of the body. So you got a matter and you got a energy. Now you got the point. So wherever there is matter, the energy will be emitted. In basic physics, you would have read a matter, if it moves from one place to another, automatically there will be emitting of energy. So energy could never be produced, never could be destroyed. It could be transferred. That is the basic physics. Everybody knows it. So these functional activities are supposed to be the activity because of the chi. That is the energy part. This is yin is nothing but the matter part. That is the nutrient substances. This is how it goes about. Then they talk about 5 elements. Let me tell you what is the 5 elements are. We are talking about the 5 Panchapuzas in the world, the universe. But actually in allopathy and other sciences, scientifically, we don't accept that it is here okay, but in the body, what it is going to do? They are least bothered. They don't say it doesn't exist. No, it may be there. But in what sense it is attributed to the medical sciences? That is what our allopathy people say. But in the body, we attribute this to, I talked about the 12 organs, I was telling you the 12 organs. Out of the 12 organs, each and every yin organ and 6 yin organs and 6 yang organs, each and every 6 organ is clubbed to each and every yang organ. When the clubbing, each and every type of group of thing, that is concerned with a particular element. Okay, why this? That I will describe you afterwards. For which the basic things, you see the world. There are so many manifestations in the world. Whatever be that, what are all the basic criteria, element that is required to produce that one? Can you tell me? No, this is only the 5 basic things. You take a table because of wood, I can tell you. Whatever be that. So fire, earth, metal, water and wood. These are the 5 things that is comprised in all and each and every manifestation in the universes. Without this thing, you cannot name a sixth one. Everything could be grouped in these things. They said not only this one, in the body, in our allopathy, we used to say, 3 things are continuously it is happening in the body. Number 1 is generations. Number 2 is metabolism. Operational. Number 3 is destruction. Anabolism, metabolism and catabolism. What is anabolism according to allopathy? This is a constructive and productive cycle that is always happening. Formation of new cells in the body, it's all continuously happening. What is metabolism? The normal physiology that is happening each and every fraction of a second, it is happening in the body. What is catabolism? It's a destructive process, a cleansing process, removal of the waste, removal of the dead tissues. This is called as catabolism. So this anabolism, metabolism, catabolism, that in name of what we do, generation, operation and destruction. This is what they meant by God. In God you got 3 aspects, the Brahma, Shiva and Vishnu. Brahma, creator, Shiva, destroyer and Vishnu is operations. Likewise, they have already depicted the gods to explain this to the society, to the normal common people. That is how it has come out. Yes, the metabolism, the anabolism, how it happens. Creative cycle, how it happens. Within the 5 element, I can detail you. When the fire totally extinguishes, what happens? It becomes ashes. So what forms? The earth comes into the play. So from the fire, earth comes. So fire is a mother, earth is a son. All earth, you can see all metal, you can take it only out of the earth. Earth means metal. So earth is a mother and metal is a son. And metal melts and becomes water. So metal is a mother and water is a son. From any pressurized point, it comes out as a spring. That comes as water. Okay, water wherever, whichever way it goes, it flourishes, it grows the vegetation. That is a wood. So wood, when keeps rubbing, what happens? You get fire. Wood generates fire, forms the extinguishes and forms the earth. Earth means metal. Metal melts and becomes water, and water nourishes the wood. This is a constructive cycle. So same thing in catabolism, what happens? There will be destructive cycle, as a controlling cycle. Catabolism means controlling cycle. What is a controlling cycle? Any metal, what it does, it cuts the wood. Woods, the root of the woods, it divides the earth, whichever we harden the things, it automatically divides, it creeps. Earth absorbs water. Water extinguishes fire. And fire melts metal. So this is a destructive or controlling cycle. This is called as a catabolism. So in acupuncture, in other systems, how do they go about this? How do the elements in the particular body, when somebody comes as a patient, we used to see what is a pathology. What pathology? Exactly what is the element that is involved. You've got different types. That is a primary involvement, secondary involvement and tertiary involvement. To understand this primary involvement, you have to take the inter-promoting cycle and the inter-controlling cycle. This inter-promoting cycle, why you have to take it, this one is, in the body, the pathology need not be completely fixed to one organ. It may be transported or transferred to other organs. So what is the primary organ involved is a primary pathology organ. Where it is being transferred to secondary, where it is being transferred to the tertiary is a third one. So when you come and meet a patient, when you learn them, you first ascertain what is the pathology. It is due to internal, because either it is hyperactive or it is hypoactive. These are the two things I already told you. If it is to be hyperactive, what does it mean? Because the protection is more. If it is doing hypoactivity, what does it mean? Actually, the controlling cycle, it will be exerting its own power over the things. So by that, when some meridian is hyperactive, what we do, the mother will sedate him, so that the mother will not feel the sun. So protection will be little limited. So the man becomes normal. When somebody is hypoactive, what we do, we will actually reduce the controlling element that controls a particular thing, and we will boost the mother element to give more money to the guy. So it will become normal. Very simple. So diagnosis is very simple. For an example, I can tell and I can talk to you about a big VIP from our India who had the problem and he was left untreated in allopathy. That I can tell you. I don't know to name him. But what happened, he was in his business. Suddenly one fine day he had a diarrhea one afternoon. Immediately he was taken to the hospital because he was dehydrated, saline was given, then diarrhea was stopped. Then he started having fever. Second day they gave him treatment, then they sent him back home. Again after 2 days the fever was very bad and he started having dyspnea, difficulty in breathing. So he was taken to other hospital. So there they gave him treatment and they found it was a collection of fluid in the lung field. That's a pneumothorax. Pneumothorax, if the fluid has to be collected, only two reasons. One, either it should be tuberculous or it should be cancerous. But neither it was tuberculous, not it was cancerous, so they could not go for something better. But the day by day, the particular VIP could not even lie down. He started sitting up and then also he was gasping. So slowly his urea creatinine never shoot up, but he had no pedal edema, but urea creatinine went up, but no pedal edema. So they were little scared. So they sent him to foreign countries. Even in Singapore, they couldn't give him a straight treatment. After 20-25 days of treatment, they sent him back to India. Then he was referred to me. Then I was called. I went and met him. We make our diagnosis on looking at the iris. That I will detail you afterwards. On looking at the black eye, with the enlarger and the light, I can easily visualize his eyes and I can easily fix up where the pathology is. This is our diagnostic tool in acupuncture. So when I saw that, I asked him only one question. So were you, in your time, were you ever had some difficulty in intaking, or you went on fasting, something like that? Any problem? Immediately he said, yes, doctor. I wanted to reduce my weight. So for 25 days, I had only fruits, nothing more than that. So I was kept on doing like that. That only it resulted. According to our science, I already told you, spleen meridian is involved for the transportation and transformation and for everything. When you do not take the limited, exactly wanted food, amount of food intake, automatically the spleen becomes upset. Spleen is nothing but the earth meridian. So that is the first problem, here diarrhea. Already I told you what is the sun of the spleen. It is a earth means metal. So sun is a lung. So next pathology is ear, difficulty in breathing. But actually the primary is what? The spleen. The second is what? The lung. From there automatically his urea creatinine went up because there is a kidney shutdown. Kidney is for water. So for what is lung? Lung is metal. So the mother of metal is earth. The son of metal is water. Okay. So primary affection was in spleen, secondary affection was in lung, tertiary affection was in kidney. So this is also easily, I could see the pathogenesis of the particular case. So I concentrated more on the spleen meridian, to some extent on the secondary meridian, that is lung meridian, and third one on the kidney meridian, just like that little. Believe me, within 38 days of needling, absolutely he became normal and he was back to his original work. No medicine, believe me, no medicine, nothing. We put him only on acupuncture needling. Not that this is too much for me, I am a big man, I am with nobody diagnosed, but I know not like that. The acupuncture gives a pathogenesis in a very clear-cut way. If you have got a mind to do that and God helps you, immediately any student could easily go for a diagnosis if you would have been very good and very clear in acupuncture pathology. So it has been clearly written. So you should have a mind to select on the points and to select the meridians, what are involved. This is how we go about. This is one of the very interesting things in my life, and likewise this is how I go about my diagnosis. Then I started talking to you about the eye. I told you about the diagnostic point. Diagnostic point, we got so many types, but in acupuncture we talk about all the sense organs, through that we can diagnose. Number one is pulse. Pulse diagnosis, believe me, in Hunter, the book that is destined universally for any clinical student to get into, in Hunter is the clinical diagnosis book. All clinical going to internationally, they use only that book. In the Hunter, for pulse diagnosis, only 2 pages you can see. Rate, rhythm, volume, like what they will be given. Whatever we say, we will see nothing more we know. Nothing more, I make it very clear. But in acupuncture, in pulse diagnosis, you have got 27 types of pulse. And you have got 12 pulse in the body. Each pulse for each meridian. So 12 pulse, each and every pulse is 27 types. On looking at the pulse, easily you can even diagnose it without asking the patient what the problem is. But honestly telling you, according to me, in India, I could say nobody is that much master enough to go for a pulse diagnosis. Number two is tongue diagnosis. On looking at the tongue, I can tell you which meridians are involved. Then ear diagnosis, already I talked to you about the ear. Ear easily we can ascertain. The last one I can see in the eyes. So even the nose we can do. The eyes you can do the diagnosis. This is called as iridology. Logos means study. Iris is a black eye. Know very well. This is a photograph I am showing you in the picture. This, kindly see all those things. All the organs in the bodies are depicted here. Particularly 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock questions, if you see, all the things will be for your mental area. In and around you can see whether it is allergic or not. So within the interior part you got a spleen and stomach. So what is it? Other things you got a nerve ring, neural ring. These are all everything. On looking at the eyes, without even asking the patient, I can easily tell you what your problems are. In acupuncture and other complementary medicine, we go only after like this. When I was a student in Singapore, when I was doing my PhD there, my professor told me, Dr. Muthu, you can see a black spot that is called a psoric spot. If you could see a black spot in a particular area, that corresponding organ is 100% damaged. Nothing would be done. Nothing, sir, how come it be? It is like that. Kindly give me a letter. Let me go to the government hospital of Singapore. I want to go and meet the patients who are posted for surgery. You can see now most of the patients, they will be on appendicectomy or for hysterectomy. You got patients. Daily, there any hospital will have all the patients. I want to see them. Let me pre-operative, let them go and see them. And post-operative also, I want to meet them. Let me be there for 2 hours. Let the surgery be over. Let me see. Once that has been gone, then you said the black mark will come. I want to ascertain. Because being a medical doctor, I want to do that without any doubt. Whichever doubt I had, I used to ask them. And he said, yes, Muthukumar, he gave me a letter. I just went to that, GH. I was in Singapore for Singapore GH. I was waiting for that. I went and saw all the people who were posted for surgery pre-operatively. And I found nothing was there. And the patients for appendicitis. Appendicitis, that is the area 6:30 to 7. That is the time area where we can see for appendix. And uterus, the thing that is again nearby. So these are the areas I have to look into. So pre-operatively, nothing was there. Then post-operatively, when they come out, I went out of all inclusive, I went and saw, but nothing was there. Immediately I spoke to my professor. Professor, he told me that I will be seeing a psoric spot, but nothing was there. How come? You wait for 2 hours, Muthu. After 2 hours, you come and let me know. I waited for 2 hours. Believe me, I saw more than 9 patients. All the 9 patients, they had the psoric spot. Exactly after 2 hours 15 minutes or 2 hours 30 minutes. And it will be there lifelong. So any patient, when they come to me and they started telling me, doctor, this is the problem I got. On looking at the eyes, if I start seeing a soaring spot, immediately I'll ask them, Amma, have you underwent hysterectomy? They would not even told me that they underwent hysterectomy. Their problem might have been something else, they will be detaining me. But in spite of that, I'll ask them. They'll be startled. They said, how come, doctor, without me telling you, how come you are telling me? That is what acupuncture teaches me. So, on looking at the eyes itself, what type of personality, I can tell you. Certain people are, because most of the people, I can tell you, here at the present state, most of the issues are only because your mental instability.